Hi, my name is Kate. Welcome to Seeking to Remain. Welcome to the first episode in sunny, very hot Montgomery, Alabama. We are still in our Airbnb, but we have been so blessed by a wonderful property manager who has been letting us not only store stuff, but also be still in the house, just on and off during the day and getting things unloaded. And we're going to be in such a better place moving in this weekend because, half the kitchen's already unpacked. I have sheets on the beds. It's a good thing. It's a really good thing. So I'm sitting out on the porch swing that we have. I will miss this in our home here in Alabama. This has been a nice little bonus of our Airbnb to have. But the kids are super excited to move into home. I can't figure out when we say we're going home, do they mean our house? Do we mean our Airbnb house? So that's been confusing and hard this week, but we're making it through. So I still don't have my Every Sacred Sunday. It's packed. Jesus says in our gospel today that if you love father or mother more than him, then you're not worthy of him. And if you love son or daughter more than him, you're not worthy of him. Anyone who tries to find their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life for Jesus' sake will find it. And this got me thinking about priorities. And I read in an interesting book, I don't remember the name off the top of my head. I will put a link in the description below, that talked about how the concept of priorities as a plural is a fairly recent thing in history. As long as we've had this word in the English language, it was a singular, because you can only have one priority. You can only have one number one. When we watch Food Network shows or different, reality competitions, Ben always likes to say, there can only be one. There can only be one winner. There's no ties. You can only have one priority. And yet, with the Industrial Revolution, and as society continued to mechanize and be able to do multitask more as a society, that word became plural. So now we think we can have many priorities, multiple priorities. And it makes it really hard to divide your time well, because everything seems to have the most importance when it can't be. There's not enough room on that upper pedestal to have many first things. You can only do one first thing first. And Jesus is telling us in our gospel that he has to be the first thing. And that's hard. I feel like I say that a lot. That's hard. This Christianity thing is hard. It's not comfortable. But it's so good. And it's the truth. You can't do 5 things well all at the same time. You can't. You just can't. I can't. I know I try to. I try to all the time. I have so many plans for this evening that include editing this video and knitting and remembering that I have gospel reflections due for another blog and just relaxing. And I can't do it all. I have to pick one priority first. Jesus has to be that one priority that we choose first. And I'm going to talk again about this Liturgy of the Hours book. It's gotten kind of beat up. It's got some water stains. It had suffered some tragedies on our drive, but it's still here, still hanging on. It's got one more day. And then it can go rest in peace, and I can start to abuse a new one. But this morning, one of the antiphons for the Psalms said, I didn't mark the right page. Almost. I already pushed it forward to night prayer for Ben and I to pray. There it is. It says, God's grace in me has not been without fruit. It is always at work in me. And there was something so comforting about that. You know, we feel like we have to do everything ourselves. We have all these priorities, we have all these things we have to get done, and we're supposed to put Jesus first. But we also need to feed our kids, and that just seems like a lot. And then God gives us those gentle reminders. Nothing that we do for His glory and His purpose and His will is without fruit. We might not get to see it right away. It might be something that takes a long time to grow, or maybe is something that's growing in someone else. But when we start each day offering to God all that we do, all that we say, He does amazing things with it. To us, they might be little things, but if we are turning ourselves a little bit more in this direction that Jesus wants, of putting Him first, if each day we just make that little 1/8 of an inch turn, we're going to get there. And it'll be slow and it'll be gradual. And that's why we have a whole lifetime to do it. Rome wasn't built in a day. Saints aren't built in a day. Your life isn't built in a day. So today, make that little quarter turn, that little 1/8 of an inch turn, 1/16 of an inch turn. Start today, or if you're watching this in the evening, start tomorrow, and tell God, I offer this day to you. In the description, I'll have a morning prayer or a morning offering. That's a great way to start your day. Another idea I have comes from Chiara Lubich again. Something that she liked to say was in this joyful, I imagine a joyful, sweet voice, because there's an exclamation point at the end. For you, Jesus, for you. I'm doing this thing for you. I'm recording this video, not for myself, not for you even, but for Jesus, because that's what I think He's called me to do. I'm folding this laundry for my kids, but because God has called me to be a mother. And this is part of that vocation. For you, Jesus, for you. What can you do for Jesus? What part of your vocation can you say, I'm doing this for you? Hopefully I'll be able to show you a little bit of our house. Maybe it'll just be some boxes in the background, but we will be in our house next week, and I'm so excited. I'm looking forward to talking with you then. God bless.